All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most famous love poems ever written, Elizabeth Barrett Browning's How Do I Love Thee? You've probably heard that first line before, but trust me, the poem is this incredible, intricate map of the human heart. So what we're going to do is break it down and make its huge ideas super simple and clear for everyone. Let's get into it.
So, here's our roadmap. We're going to journey through the poem by looking at 5 big ideas. We'll start with that famous question, then explore this idea of a huge spiritual love. After that, we'll see how love shows up in just normal, everyday life, and then how it can actually transform our past pain. And finally, we'll get to this mind-blowing idea of a love that can last even beyond death. It's a perfect guide. Okay, let's start right where the poem does, with its unforgettable opening line. This question really is the key that unlocks everything else. So the speaker kicks things off by asking, "How do I love thee?" Now, it's not like she's actually confused or unsure, right? This is a rhetorical question. It's her way of starting a really deep, thoughtful exploration. What she's really asking is, what are all the different ways, the different kinds of love that I feel?
And her answer is so simple, so direct. Let me count the ways. What's so cool about this is that it tells you her love is just so massive, so overwhelming, that she literally has to organize it to make a list just to get her head around how big it is. This sets up the whole rest of the poem as this beautiful, itemized list of love.
So after setting the stage with that simple question, Browning immediately just blows the roof off. We go from a simple count to a love that is absolutely huge and has no limits, a spiritual kind of love.
She's talking about a spiritual love, one that's as big as her soul can possibly be. And what's really neat is how she uses the language of physical space, like size and distance, to describe an emotion, something totally non-physical. It's a love that she says reaches for the very edges of existence, even towards God or what she calls ideal grace.
And this is just a brilliant way to show what she means. She gives the spiritual love 3 dimensions: depth, breadth, and height. It's her way of saying, my love is all-encompassing. It's not flat. It fills every single part of her being, reaching as far down, as wide, and as high as her soul can possibly go. It's a really powerful way of saying, my love for you is infinite.
Okay, so we've been way up in the clouds with these huge spiritual ideas. But now the poem makes a really important pivot. It brings us right back down to earth, shifting from the infinite soul to the small, real moments of everyday life.
And this is what we can call practical love. Browning is showing us that love isn't just for big dramatic speeches. It's there in the most quiet need of our daily lives. She compares it to something you can't live without, something as essential and constant as breathing. It's just always there. She illustrates this with this gorgeous image of sun and candlelight. The sun, well, that represents the bright, busy public parts of our day. But the candlelight, that represents the quiet, private, intimate moments at night. And here's the point. Her love is there through all of it, the loud and the quiet, the day and the night. It never stops.
You know, tucked inside this everyday love is another deeper layer, a moral or ethical love. This is all about how she loves. It's a love that she chooses to give, one that's totally selfless and isn't looking for any kind of reward or pat on the back.
And she breaks this down into 2 parts. First, she loves freely, which means it's her choice. It's an active decision, just like good people choose to fight for what's right. And second, she loves purely. This means it's totally selfless. She doesn't do it to get attention or applause. Her love is given without any ego.
All right, get ready because this next idea is one of the most powerful in the entire poem. It's about how love can actually take our past pain and turn it into something new and beautiful.
We call this transformative love. Now, Elizabeth Barrett Browning didn't have an easy life. She dealt with illness and a lot of family issues. And in the poem, she says that all the intense passion, all the energy she used to spend on her old griefs is now being completely redirected into her love for her husband.
So how does that actually work? Well, think of it in 3 steps. The source of the energy is her past sorrows, her old griefs, and the old beliefs she lost along the way, her lost saints. Then comes the process. She takes all that passion and puts it to a new use. And the result? A powerful new love. He becomes her new faith, the one thing she can truly believe in.
And that all leads us to the poem's absolutely incredible finale. After exploring love in the soul, in daily life, and even in the past, Browning makes one last, profound declaration about a love that is truly eternal. She defines what we can call eternal love.
This is really the ultimate form of love, she describes. It's a love that includes every single piece of her life, and she believes that it won't just continue after death. It will actually get even stronger. And to show us what she means, she says she loves him with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. This chart really breaks it down. Her love isn't just one thing. It's made of everything she is. Her very life force, her breath, all of her joys, her smiles, and all of her sorrows, her tears. It is a love made from her entire human experience.
And here it is, the final, breathtaking vow. She ends the poem by saying that, if God allows it, her death won't be an ending at all. Instead, it'll be a chance to love him better, even more purely and deeply than she can right now. It is just an incredibly powerful statement of faith in her love.
So, let's just quickly recap. In this one little poem, we've seen 5 totally different ways of loving. We have the infinite, spiritual love of the soul, the constant, practical love of everyday life, the selfless, moral love that's given by choice, the powerful, transformative love that's born from pain, and finally, that ultimate, eternal love that hopes to outlast death itself. Together, these really do create a complete map of a human heart.
And that brings us to the end. Browning gave us her map, her ways of loving, and it kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? If you had to count the ways, if you had to map out the love in your own life, what words would you use?